Oi, amigos! This is Luanna Luna, and I'm very excited to be part of Humans of Telecom.
Hey everyone, a very warm welcome to Humans of Telecom, the Unplugged podcast. This is your host Anurag Aggarwal, Chief Growth Officer at Globe Teleservices. I'm just back from the International Telecoms Week, ITW, at Washington, D.C. in the US, and I was truly amazed to see the level of enthusiasm and interest this show has generated within the CPaaS and overall telecom community. I just want to say thanks a lot to all our listeners for showing so much love and support. And for those tuning in for the first time, this podcast takes you behind the scenes of the fast paced world of telecom and showcases the human side of some of the most well known individuals within the space. And today, we feature one such individual who, in a very short period of time, has managed to become an extremely well known face in the CPaaS industry, and thankfully has agreed to grace this show with her presence today. So please join me in welcoming the popular Luanna Luna, Senior Sales Executive at China Mobile International UK. Luanna, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of this journey. We'd love to hear more about you. Which part of the world do you belong to? And from where are you joining this podcast today?
Oh, thank you so much, Anurag. It's a great pleasure. I am from Brazil, proudly Brazilian, and I'm joining you from London, UK, and sunny London, actually. So happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Luana. Thank you once again for agreeing to be a part of this journey. And you are incidentally the second Brazilian on the show. We've had Fabio Botan from Aurelian, who
Yes,
I'm guessing
yes.
you know as well. And we had a really amazing and fun conversation, and that was honestly one of the best conversations I've had. So I'm looking forward to having another spectacular Brazilian on the show
We
today and
will.
hear her story.
We're gonna bring this Brazilian energy that we have. Fabio Botan, he is a fantastic guy. I love him as well.
Absolutely, yeah, he is amazing. So, firstly, Brazil and UK. So, two very starkly different cultures and parts of the world. A quick summary of how do you feel these two countries are, and what's different and what's interesting in each of them.
Great. So how to start? Well, first, can you imagine how sunny is Brazil? It's so sunny the whole year, all the time. You're very tropical, right? And then we come here to the UK. It is cloudy, it is rainy, but not as much as I expected. We have a beautiful summer here. It was fantastic last year and this year, and the difference about the sun setting so late here, that's impacting our lives so much. I think that's the difference, just geographically. But when it comes to people and society, London itself can be a quite lonely city, I would say. Everybody's so busy, Anurag. It's so hard to meet everyone. Everybody's 2 hours away from each other. And that in Brazil, it's very close. We have a very closed community. Everybody's together all the time, barbecue and carnival. So that's a bit different, but still very interesting and very useful here.
I must say that's a very apt comparison you made of the two countries. But I'm sure when we have the sunny side people from Brazil in the UK, I don't think it's that boring and lonesome, right?
Exactly. No, and then when it's sunny, everybody's happy. Everybody goes to the park and they're enjoying their happy faces. Everybody's cheering, saying hello to everybody. So that is nice. That is beautiful. English people, they can be nice as well.
I agree. I've experienced that firsthand. So, absolutely, I agree.
You've been here in the summer, right?
Oh yeah, I've been there in the summers and the winters, thankfully. And yes,
Hmm.
the difference in the energy and the enthusiasm and the pulse of the city is very different in both those seasons. So I totally resonate
Hmm.
with your thoughts. So, Luana, let's start focusing on you. So, let's hear a bit more about your journey. While we know where you're from, but how has the journey been from Brazil to London now? And how have been some of your personal and professional stories over a period of time?
Great. So let's go back to in Brazil, in the countryside, because my town is quite small, in the middle of nowhere, in the state of Minas Gerais. So for those who knows, it's between São Paulo and Rio, but still in the countryside. And since I was young, I used to play a lot with technology with my dad. For example, installing computers or DVDs or any of that thing at the time. I was good at that. And then when I was probably 16, I joined a IT and telecommunications course, networking course from the government. So from 20 people, 20 students, I think there was only three girls. Yeah, so male dominated in technology, of course. But I was quite good. I realized I liked it and I was good at that. And 30 kilometers from my town, it was the National Institute of Telecommunications, where they had engineering courses. So spoke with my mom, my family, said, well, I'm gonna take a student loan and I'm gonna do it because technology is something that I enjoy, I like it, and it can be great for me. Then I started it. So it's actually a 5 years course there. I had so many beautiful and very inspiring professors there dealing with technology in the biggest and the highest technology we could have in Brazil. It's there. And then I realized I had to study, for example, all the satellites and transmitters and how to digital transmit the communications and fiber optics, everything. But I was actually good at and interested in the business side, so in the strategy. So I realized, well, why can't I know the technical background, but also do the business and talk to people and make the sales? So I decided to follow that career, moved to Europe. It took me a while to get my citizenship, and then I was working for a fintech first, and then decided to join Telecom. And when I joined Telecom, it was my first company in SMS. It was when I met you, Anurag. I remember exactly when I met you at the event of Math, Mobile Ecosystem Forum. And yes, you did a poem, and I was in that industry the first time.
Ah,
And
that
then,
you we interacted with during my poem.
yes, I loved your poems. I love that. It was that's such a fun industry to be in. And look at this guy, so creative. So that's what I see. Like I want to stay here where people have fun. We enjoy what we're doing. We're doing technology, communicating around the world because these things would not be possible if it wasn't for telco, telecommunications, communication for far. So I'm really glad where I joined. I'm really happy where I am right now. And but I started, yeah, a while ago as a telco engineer, now doing sales.
That's amazing. So, I was expecting to hear a story where you stumbled into the world of IT and telecom, but I see that we actually have a trained professional here. Most of the people I interact with in our CPaaS industry, they've had some or the other. I personally have had an unexpected stumbling into this industry. So it's good to see that we have somebody who comes with that technology background as well, and then now she shifted on the commercial side. So that's
Yeah.
interesting, and it's so great to have you here in the industry now. But given all these moments which you spoke about, if I ask you to talk about one moment, one incident, which is the most impactful one in your career so far, which one would that be?
Oh, one moment. Okay. There's one thing that I could mention. So let me go a little bit back in my history, personal history, where just to give you the background. I had a relationship which, let's say, it wasn't the best, was quite toxic and complicated. And this boyfriend that I had, he made me believe in a very subtle way that even though I graduated as engineer, me being Brazilian would not allow me to join the job that I had and join the industry that I wanted. And he made it in a very subtle way. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to protect you and show the reality, but I'm here for you, so don't worry. And I took that as a truth. But then I left and I realized, like, no, I can and I will have the dream job that I want. Doesn't matter if I'm Brazilian or not, doesn't matter if I am a woman or not, I will find a way. And I did. So at my first business trip, When I first went to MWC, with all my hotels paid by, my meals and the parties I was joining, people that I was talking to, these people that I was studying about what they did few years ago, and now I can talk to them, and I'm here, and that's my job. That made me so happy, so grateful from what I am and where I was. So that was a really big, impactful moment for me.
Well, I guess this is often also referred to as gaslighting. Where
Yes.
somebody's morale is brought down, and I can see that while you've been through that, but you've actually risen above that, and you've
Mm-hmm.
actually shown to the world that anything and everything is possible if you put your mind and energy and your heart into it. So,
Uh-huh.
hats off to you.
No, yeah, I'm glad you brought up the term gaslighting, because I know like a lot of people talk about it and they think it's trendy, but it is true. So and I overcame it. It's possible, and you use it as a fuel, to show that you can. So just believe in yourself. It's exactly what you said. Believe in yourself and go. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Luana, from here we move on to what we call the human side, and we ask a couple of things. We play a couple of games, and that helps us understand a little bit more about Luana. So, first and foremost, you bring with yourself so much of energy and radiance, if I can say. I mean, it's so nice to meet you, talk to you, and just see that energy radiate. So if I ask you that, what is the one thing that helps you recharge, or what's your biggest passion, what would that be?
Anurag, you're very kind, mentioning my energy. And I think you saw me, for example, even on the dancing floor. I'm just happy, just enjoying. I love dancing, but
Uh-huh.
that's not my main hobby. How do I recharge? Jigsaw puzzles. I
Okay.
absolutely love them. I know. It's so good. Like, I know it can be very like old fashioned, I would say, like not expected sometimes. But putting those pieces together, like I have now this 2,000 pieces jigsaw puzzle. I did a 5K one. It took me 2.5 years to finish that.
Oh,
And it's
wow.
so hard, because all the pieces, they are the same. But it's a kind of form of meditating and persistency. Because when you finish the puzzle, it's so good, so grateful. And
Right, right.
I just enjoy putting the pieces together. I don't know. That's how I recharge.
Well, it's not something which is very odd, to be honest. I've seen that these puzzles actually sharpen your mind, and actually, you're very right. They're a sort of a meditation in its own way, because the focus and concentration that they bring with themselves can
Mm.
actually help you. They transport you into a different mind space, and then once you come back into reality, you're well rested, and you a lot more energetic than what you were before. So I can totally
Yes.
resonate with that.
And it's also problem solving, right? It's
Oh yeah,
exactly
there is.
problem solving.
Absolutely, there is a sense of achievement and accomplishment at the end of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So now we are going to play a game, Luana, and this is one where I ask a couple of words from my guests, and I always tell them that be spontaneous, be human, and say the first thing that comes to your mind. So, are you ready for that?
I think I am. Let's go.
I know you are.
Yes.
So the first one is a simple one: telecom.
Telecom. Global. I think telecommunications is what made globalization possible, and I
Yeah,
love it.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's actually a very fair thought. That it's thanks to this industry that we're able to connect in such a seamless manner.
Right.
Yeah, the next one would be ambition.
Ambition. Ambition. Energy. I think if you have the ambition, that will be your energy, your fuel, for you to reach your goals, and then you have your ambition. Um, that will be very successful. Yes.
Yeah, I guess you're talking about an alignment between your energy and your goals and ambition, and then that becomes like a winning formula. So yeah, very true.
Hmm.
The next one is interesting, and I hope to hear an exotic answer. Brazilians.
Carnival. Well, if you think about carnival, it's us Brazilians are, we are partying, we are happy, we are in a group together, we help each other. Anywhere in the world, we are like that. So Brazilians will have this unified power. I love it. I love this energy.
Right. And, actually, that's one of my ambitions in life to go and
You should
experience
go
the carnivals in Brazil.
in
I agree.
Brazil.
The energy there, it's, it's so infectious that even though we're seeing it through a screen, but we can just feel that energy radiating over there.
Nah, imagine if you're there. It's beautiful. You're just happy all the time. Everything is great. Ah, it's so nice.
Absolutely. The next one is something I'd like to know. What would you find exciting?
Exciting. If I say our industry, is it? Am I cheating? I don't know, because it's so exciting,
I agree. I agree. It's actually, I
right?
personally, it's been a decade now for me in this industry, and it's very difficult to imagine moving out from this space. So,
Yeah,
I, you're not
Anurag.
cheating.
Yeah, when you tell your colleagues out of the industry what is your job and how it is, do they ask you like, are they hiring? Because for me, they ask me every time I tell people what I do. They said, "Okay, can I go? Can I join you?" It's so good. It's so exciting.
Well, actually, in my case, whenever I meet my friends, they are always puzzled. What do I do? So, in spite of repeated attempts of trying to explain exactly what is CPaaS and A2P and messaging, it takes them time to digest that. But anyway, I totally agree. It's a very exciting and a very fun space to be in. And I think I'm personally grateful that, I got to be in this space.
Hmm.
And the final one, where we are today, podcast.
Podcast. Humans of Telecom. It's what you did. That's what comes to my mind. And my honest answer is because I don't follow other podcasts. So
Uh-huh.
it's you. I found it so interesting what you did. Because when we met, I remember I actually interviewed you on a video,
Right,
but
right.
it's so more comfortable when you are in a podcast, right? And you get the camera away and you're comfortable. It's such a great idea that you
Yeah.
had. So congratulations.
Thank you. And in fact, while today video podcasts have also started becoming popular, but
Hmm.
totally believe that, that when the camera's off, a person is much more at ease. A person can be much more human,
Yes.
and that really makes all the difference. And you get to hear stuff which is closer to you, to a person's heart, as compared to what we do anyways in our work lives when we have our video calls, right? So that's the intention
Hmm.
out here.
And you reached it really well.
Thank you. All right, so we move on to our next game, and since you've been a regular listener, you'd know that I've had an amazing streak of losing each and every time we play this, and I feel that since I'm talking to a Brazilian, everything will sound quite similar and exotic, and I will not be able to get the right one. So. What we're going to do is that we're going to ask you that please tell us two truths and a lie. So, three statements in total, and I'll try and guess which one of those three is a lie. So, are you ready with that?
Yes, I am. There we go.
Okay.
So, my three statements. One, I flew a plane many times and as a pilot, like I was a pilot. Okay.
Okay.
Second one, I am related to Ayrton Senna, the Formula One driver. Okay. And
Okay.
third one, I don't like football.
I think this is a little too easy. I think this time I'm gonna win for sure. I have a strong feeling that you've been a pilot. You are a pilot. Your father's side of the name is surname is family name is Senna. So I'm gonna take a chance and believe that's also the truth. And I can never imagine a Brazilian who does not like football. So that's the lie. I'm sure you're crazy about football. Am I right?
um, You are actually the first time that yes, you are right. I'm Brazilian. Like, well done, you. I cannot say that I don't like football. I'm not passionate. I don't. I'm not like fascinated about football. But
Right.
when it comes to the World Cup, oh my God, we are as it's like we are playing there in the field. So it's so important for us. So well done, you. So you know the Brazilians. Brazilians love football.
Awesome, and I'm so glad that I finally, I've broken the jinx and I've managed to get a victory here.
It's the Brazilian luck. Yes. But about
Absolutely.
the Senna, my dad's surname is with Senna just one N, and Ayrton Senna is if with a double N. But
Okay.
Senna, he asked should be with one more N as a, when the celebrity changes their name as a
Right.
new name. He asked
Mhm.
to put double N. But my dad is related to him, yeah. So it's true. And yes, I flew a plane a few times in Canada. That was quite good. I don't have the license. Okay.
Ah, okay. So you don't have a license at the moment, but you've experienced. So would it be like a Cessna or like some other two-seater that you've flown?
Yes. Cessna to see it's a Cessna 175, if I remember, and it was a seaplane. So we could land in the water and take out from the water. So nice.
That's amazing. Yeah. I once flew a Cessna as well. This was in South Africa, but of course, as a fun co-pilot, not as being on the pilot seat. But that's amazing.
Uh,
So we have the versatile Luana who knows how to fly a plane. And when you come down onto the ground, she's related to a very famous racer as well. Awesome.
yeah.
And Luana, this next one is also something very interesting. I'm hoping that you're fond of reading or watching movies or a TV show.
Mhm.
So, if you had one such book or a show or something that you'd like to talk about and feature yourself as one character in it, which book or TV show or a movie would it be, and which character would you like to portray and why?
Great. Let me think. Probably Game of Thrones. And I
Okay.
read all the books and I'm passionate about it. I watched all the seasons. And a character, Cersei Lannister. And not because of what she does, okay? Because I don't, I love my brother, but not like that, okay? It's the way she is sipping her wine and strategy thinking. Her game playing is fantastic, it's fascinating. So I take
Mhm.
her as my answer.
Awesome. I would have made it much simpler that that she's hot, you're hot, so yeah, it makes sense.
She is fantastic, but thank you very much, Anurag. I wish one day I get to her level. Yes.
Yeah, and there's actually it's very interesting how her character has evolved over the
Hmm.
various seasons, and I'm guessing equally over the books, while the books are yet not complete. But it would really be interesting to see you in that role and see how you personify that.
Nice, that'd be good.
Yeah, that I mean, there's just so many interesting events related to this character, so that would be an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, and now I have to buy some Cersei dress to wear it. That'll be so nice.
Absolutely.
Oh
All
god.
right, and Luana, as always, whenever we talk, it's fun, it's exciting, and at the same time, there is a time limit to it. Sadly, so that's where we are now. We are on the final section, what I
Hmm.
call the sign-off section, and there are two questions which I pose my guests every time, and I look forward to your responses. Firstly, if there is anybody who wants to meet the Telecom's Cersei Lannister, which that's what I'm going to call you from now.
I love it.
So, if anybody wants to meet you and get to see this exciting and energetic person in real life, which would be some of the events and conferences which you would be attending in the next couple of months?
Great. Anyone more than welcome to see me. And if they say I'm Cersei Lannister, I'm 100% sure they are your listeners. So that would be really fun. I'll be here in London, right? So but next conference, it's here SMS World in London. Then WWC in Madrid, the World Wholesale Congress. Then maybe I'll go to Croatia for WAS, still to confirm, and then Capacity in London in October again. So London, anytime anyone from telco industry wants to meet for a coffee or for anything, I'm up for it. And you, please, I need to know when you're coming, Anurag.
Well, firstly, I can see you have a fairly packed calendar, so that's interesting.
Mhm.
And secondly, let's see, not sure right now, but maybe we cross paths in Croatia. Let's hope for that.
Let's hope for that.
Awesome. And the final question, which we call as our signature question: what does being human mean to you? What sort of a human being would you want the world to remember you as?
It's a great question because, we deal with technology, we deal with CPaaS the whole day, the whole year, our whole lives. But we forget that being human is being vulnerable, having emotions, feelings, and we try to suppress that to be functional, for example, or to be always good, or to be good all the time. But being human is being able to feel these feelings and make mistakes and fix them and trying to bring your best and just make our life easier with humanity. I think that's what makes us human, the feelings that we have.
Yep, that's very true. I think in an age where we have artificial intelligence taking over so many things,
Hmm.
one just hopes that the feelings side of things remains more with humans than with a patch of code. So, yep, totally agree with you.
100%. And you asked me like, what I would like to be remembered at. Maybe not as Cersei Lannister, but that's a possibility. But I love giving this good energy that I give to you, for example, right now. And I
Right.
want to be remembered as that, like just genuine, good mood, happy person, just sharing my energy, enjoying life. I think that's important.
And I think you're doing a great job at that. And I think we all do know you and identify that with you.
Oh, thank you. You're very kind.
So yeah, I guess that's that, Luana. And as expected, it was a fun conversation, and it was amazing to hear some of your stories. And honestly, I didn't know some of the facets of your life which I got to hear today. So thank you so much for being on the show and sharing so much about you today.
No, thank you. It's a huge pleasure. I see everyone, every name that you put in here. It's only the highest admired people here. So thank you so, so much for bringing me here. It's a big pleasure.
Most welcome. And once again, thank you so much, Luana. And as always, to all our wonderful listeners, thanks a lot for tuning into the show. We really hope that this episode gave you a good glimpse of the human side of Luana. Like a true Cersei Lannister, she managed to move out of a toxic relationship and eventually has conquered the world. So, for sure, we're talking about someone who has much more than what meets the eye. And that's what I learned today in our podcast. And if you want to keep learning such stories about other fascinating individuals from our CPaaS space, as always, do stay tuned in because we shall soon be releasing yet another episode and yet another compelling story from the telecom space. And do follow the podcast on your preferred streaming channel. On behalf of Humans of Telecom, this is your host Anurag Aggarwal signing off for now. Take care.